Hi Fishers residents, today I'm out here at the AgriPark and today we'll be talking about some cover crops. To plant cover crops in the fall, we use a planter and a tractor to make sure that we can get all of it in the ground into the large field. The rows are 7-inch rows, and you can see how small the seeds are. When we plant our cover crop, we like to plant them in the fall after all the harvest has been done for the year. Our corn planter here will be able to plant 4 rows at a time, 7 inches apart. As the planter moves, you can see the rows that it is creating as the seeds are coming out. There is also markers on the planter so that way Trevor, as he farms, knows where to stop and where to start on his rows for planting. You might be wondering, what does a cover crop even do for us? Our cover crops are able to avoid any nutrient runoff that we already have in our soil, and it also helps us make sure we don't have to put additional nutrients into our soil, like chemicals or anything that could be harmful to us later on. Sometimes we also call cover crops trap crops. So this means that we're able to trap the nutrients into the soil so that it doesn't run off once the snow melts and we get some water on the ground. And also once it provides a blanket, so when raindrops hit the ground, it doesn't harm the soil as much. Our cover crops are able to provide a nice blanket for our soil over the winter. We want to make sure that our nutrients, especially nitrogen, are able to stay in our soil. And once the snow melts this winter, we want to make sure that there's no runoff from any of our nutrients that we have into any of our lakes or roadways or rivers. The protective canopy of our cover crops for this winter will help our soil a lot from soil erosion to making sure that we don't lose any of our nutrients that we put into the soil. Our cover crops also carry a lot of nutrients so that we don't have to spray our fields with any chemicals. Cover crops also help reduce our velocity of snowfall and rainfall erosion in our soil. This helps that none of the thing that we put into our soil here runs off into any of our streams or rivers. Over time, our cover crop regimen will be able to help our farm be more sustainable and as well as be able to produce more nutrients, which leads to a better soil, which leads to better vegetables and plants out here at the AgriPark. Next time you drive past the AgriPark, you'll notice that it's pretty bare out here, but just remember that we have cover crops that are able to help us with great soil for next year's crop.